Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Well, in all honesty, I would say that ATIKU is right. The reason is that since President Bola Tinubu assumed power, he has not come out to unfold to Nigerians his agenda on how to curb this terrorism issue. Yes, we might say that somehow the thing has been degraded since it came in, but you know that terrorists, the way they are, they have all these, they have been brainwashed. There are those of them that we hear, although once in a while they come out and they tell us that it is not so, who have been de-radicalized, they said. When they de-radicalize them, they allow them to join the larger society. Some are even alleged to have been allowed to join the military or security forces. So when former Vice President ATIKU comes out to say that the way the government is handling the issue is why those people are, there's a resurgence now, I will not say no. Because as I said earlier, the president has not really come out to tell us what is his agenda for curbing or for making sure that this thing don't come back again. We all know that at some point, the issue of terrorism died down, even under Buhari, not because they did anything special, perhaps, but because maybe the terrorists found a better way to earn a living by numbing people and collecting ransom and all that. It is perhaps all those ransom they've collected that they are now using to buy IED or to recruit more followers into their devilish act. For instance, we all know that Nigerians, we have let off our guard. Even here in the Southwest, I remember that in those days when all these terrorists visit public places, either churches, mosques, large gatherings, and so on, when you are going in, they search you, they do this and that. But now, everybody has given up. We think that the danger is over and nobody cares about what anybody is doing. And in the Northeast or in the North, it is much more difficult. One, okay, what happened was at a wedding, one of the suicide bomber we had a baby strapped on her back, and then she's wearing the hijab. In all honesty, when you see something like that, you would think that no normal human being will have a baby strapped on her back. A mother, for that matter, have a baby strapped on her back and be in possession of IED. So, when the vice president now said that, I don't think he was being opportunistic. It is, for me, well, those who are in support of the government or who are in government might think that he is being opportunistic. Well, deep down, his own soul, it might be an opportunity or an opportunistic intervention on ATIKU's side, deep down. It might not be for the altruistic reason. But for me as an analyst, if I look at it, was he right in what he said? And what would have been done to make sure that this thing doesn't happen? And one of the ways I think what the government needs to do now is it is not every of the captured terrorists that should be let go just like that. There are processes that they must go through. They must involve psychologists, they must involve therapists. I mean, they must involve professionals. The kinetic way is not only a way to solve this problem. The other way to solve it is also to ask yourself, what is it that we can do to make life better for people? Goza, for some years, was a deserted town. People are getting back now, and now this has happened. So what are we going to do? What does the government think it can do? And we are not leaving it to government alone, and that is why it is always in the public glare that people come, let us all talk about it. People should, the government should not restrict itself to only their their closets. They should involve others. There are people who have gone through all these things. We have, for instance, in the Northeast, they are mostly Muslims. We have some clerics who know what they need to do. I mean, the kind of advice, the kind of talk they are going to give to all these people to ask them to change their ways. And we must also make sure that people have reason to live. You know, if you look at it, there is this popular saying, he that is down need fear no fall. I mean, the man is already, somebody that is already down, he doesn't know where the next meal will come from, he doesn't know where he's going to sleep. Those are the kind of people that are ready to die. But if you give people hope, someone has education, he has a job, he has a family, he has things to look up to, and he has reason to expect that, this time tomorrow, my situation will be better. Or in the next 5 years, I will be better off. Such people will not go into terrorism. But you have a situation where he doesn't know where breakfast will come from, talk less of lunch. He's not even sure he's going to have a good place. He doesn't have a cloth on his, to cover his head. He doesn't have things to do. So, the government must look at every aspect of the Nigerian life, especially in the Northeast. I want to tell a story. At the height of the Boko Haram palaver, I went to the Agege abattoir with my wife. She went into the abattoir to buy things, and I was in the car waiting for her. And I saw 4 able-bodied young men. They were leaning against the car, another car, just not too far from me. And the 3 of them were discussing. One of them asked the other, Malam, Bakajegida Kajeka, you go now? It was raining season. What that means is, Mr. Man, you didn't go home to go and farm this farming season. You know the answer the other guy gave him? He said, for where he will not go, that last year or 2 years ago when he went, he was almost killed by Boko Haram. The other one now said, oh, so it was Boko Haram that nearly killed you. In his own case, he was arrested and accused of being a Boko Haram member. That it was through the skin of his teeth that he was able to be released, that he spent more than 6 or 7 months in detention. And when he left, he ran back to Lagos. The third person said almost the same thing. So what is the story here? The story here is that people are afraid to go to farm. People are afraid, even northerners, they are afraid to go back to the north. So when you see a stream of them coming to the south, you think they are only coming here because, no, they are running away from either Boko Haram or being arrested and be accused of being Boko Haram. So the government must look at this issue very well. Well, you might say that, okay, ATIKU, will he have done better and all that? It is not our concern. Our concern now should be the person that is there. If an opposition leader doesn't find fault with a running government, that means the country is gone. Because we must all not think the same thing. As our colleague Simon Kolawole will say, it is all politics. Whether they say the right thing or wrong thing, it is all politics. But it is now left for us to take a look at it and say, is it what he has said? Is it right? Is there a better way the government will have done it? Now, let's take the issue of the Tucano jets. I've said this several times. The government bought Tucano jets, thinking that that would be the cure-all for the terrorism, the banditry, and all the rest of it. But have we seen the end of it? No. The Tucano jets are just there, perhaps gathering dust, because they are combat jets. What have we used them for? So the government must look at every criticism as a way for it to be better. Because if you are in government and the opposition or your citizens are not criticizing you or offering you alternative, you will just sit down there and things will be going worse. You will think you are right, whereas you are wrong. So it is right. Don't let us see every criticism from the opposition or from analysts or whatever as, oh, maybe it is being sponsored by the opposition. No, we must look at every argument from its own merit. So I think the former vice president was right. The federal government must look at its strategies and replan and re-strategize and find how to cope this. Why is it that before now, suicide bombing had died down? Why is it coming up again? What does the government need to do? What do they need to ask themselves? They must call themselves together. The security agencies must sit down together and say, no, what do we do? Where are these people getting all these things? Where are they getting the IED? They must probe all those sources and help us solve that problem.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.